Our protagonist wakes up by a girl's scream and finds out that there is a beautiful girl sitting by his side, naked. While covering herself up with the blanket, she asks who this guy is and what is he doing in her room. Meanwhile, the guy is more confused than her as the last memory he has is being indulged in a decisive battle with the three great rulers. This person is actually the great demon king, who was about to become the strongest being of this world, but suddenly gets transported to Earth in an unknown young boy's body. He scans through the memories of this guy who goes by the name Yi Feng and is supposedly a useless boy often bullied and beaten up. The girl hits Feng with a pillow while accusing him of stealing her special first time. Just then, they hear footsteps and approaching their door are three men in black suits. They got the tip that Jiang City's top beauty, who is also the famous young Master Gong Yunfei's fiancé, is having an affair. These journalists intend to uncover this affair and get famous, even if this garbage son ends up being killed as a result. This girl goes by the name Lin Lan and is one of the top 10 entrepreneurs of this city. She is now worried that if anyone sees her with this man, not only her reputation but her company will get affected as well. After scanning this guy's memories, he concludes that this guy had nothing to do with Lin Lan and both lost their consciousness after drinking. Someone then trapped them by throwing both of them onto the same bed. He overhears that the person who wants to ruin Lin Lan's company and wants the owner of this body to die a humiliating death and who tipped these journalists is Yi Hu Xiao. He sees another flashback of this creepy golden-haired dude whose guards have pinned Feng down. He holds a grudge against Feng because the old man, maybe the head of Yi family, holds Feng dear. Feng then uses his flashy red and black destructive demon smoke to leave the room. Everything that the smoke touches meets its ends, like the flowers that withered as soon as the smoke touched them. He reappears outside the building and laughs like a devil as this challenge of being trapped in a human's body will not affect his goal of becoming the strongest being. Meanwhile, the journalists barge into Lin Lan's room and surprisingly, there is no guy in there and now they are the ones who will suffer for breaking into a beautiful naked lady's room. Somewhere in the city, Yu Hu lights up his cigar as the paparazzi might have gotten pictures by now and by tomorrow, the old man will be forced to abandon Feng. Just then, Yi Hu's guard gets a call from one of the journalists who tells them the bad news. With nerves popping out of his face with anger, Yi Hu furiously asks how it is possible and orders them to look again as he must be hiding somewhere in the room. Just then, Feng appears in front of this direct descendant of the Yi family and with a smile, he asks if he was the one to plan all this. After Yi Hu confesses that he would never let a bastard son of his father inherit the family, he pulls out a dagger and charges at Feng. Feng takes a step back and easily evades the dagger's line of attack and then steps forward to grip Yi Hu's neck, saying that he is the one not leaving alive today. Seeing Feng up close and hearing the words of how he would taste, Yi Hu wonders if this scary person in front of him is actually a human. Petrified by this encounter, he runs toward his car and tells the guard to drive away from him immediately. He is finally relieved when the distance between Feng and their car increased. However, they suddenly see a red mark on roof of car that appears to be some spell. The same mark is also appearing in Feng's hand and when he crushes it with his fist, the car blasts just as Yi Hu jumps out. By whispering the words that Feng is a demon, Yi Hu loses consciousness. Since he is just an insignificant ant for Feng, he decides to let him live for now. He wonders how the demon planet is doing right now and especially Huang who is his little sister that he adores a lot. She never wishes to conquer the galaxy but only to protect his king brother and in the final battle, she was seriously wounded while protecting Yi Feng. Still, Feng is not that worried since she is a star empress that even he in his prime form cannot defeat her. Feng jumps into the water and thinks that even though this body is still very weak, there are abundant living beings on this planet and all their life force will soon be his. Using soul-devouring art, he starts to consume all the fish in water. On the riverside of Hu City, an old man is fishing with his granddaughter. Some of his guards are standing beside them. She tells his grandpa that he has just gotten better and has already started sneaking out. He tells her not to worry as he feels strong enough. The guard tells the girl, who goes by the name Bai, that her grandfather was the king within the Shar Sword Squad while he was in army. She is impressed and that reminds her that Uncle Zhang, the guard, is also the sparring king within the special squad. Just then, a strong fish takes his bait and after some struggling, he is finally able to bring it out of the water. However, it turns out that what he caught is not a fish but a human, not any other human but our own Feng. The guards charge at Feng, thinking of him as an enemy, but Feng easily overpowers all of them. Seeing all guards taken out just like that, Zhang rushes to take care of Feng. But his kick is blocked by Feng. He gets really surprised and orders all the guards to attack together. Seeing an opening, Zhang tries to punch him from behind and after the fierce encounter, Zhang gets thrown back. Feng acknowledges his strength as even after hitting him with all his might, Feng was only able to break his arm. When Feng asks for compensation for ruining his clothes, Grandpa realizes that he is not here for some revenge, so he hands him his black credit card to pay for the damage. Moreover, he tries to befriend Feng as it will bode well for Bai family to have a good relationship with someone who can even harm Zhang. Feng denies the friendship proposal, but as a sign of goodwill, he tells the old man that even though he looks fine, he is about to die. The granddaughter gets angry at his rudeness, but Feng shares that it's up to them if they want to ignore the warning. As Feng leaves, old man shares that when he got close to Feng, he seemed like a dangerous demon that could kill him with a single finger. He refers to Feng as the god of war Longya, who has been missing for many years. Since his instincts are mostly right, Zhang believes old man's words, except that Longya was old, so it is someone else just as strong. Just then, his granddaughter shows him the river where all the fish are somehow lying dead. Later, Feng arrives at school for better understanding for this world. Everyone looks at Feng with hateful eyes that assures him that the previous owner of this body is not liked by the people here. Moreover, it is a weak body, but since he has a status, he might be able to do something about it. Just then, someone mocks Feng from behind, saying that isn't it the same guy who is rumored to have slept with the most beautiful president. This guy is Zhang King and the girl with him is Feng's ex, Yu Fei. Feng went into depression for a long time after this girl left him for Zhang. He keeps insulting Feng, who is not even a little bothered and asks to leave if this dumb guy is done. Zhang gets triggered at being ignored, so he grabs Feng's shoulder. Man has the same face of the guy that will soon get beaten up. Feng insults him again by calling him a mole cricket. Yu Fei jumps in and orders Feng to kneel down so she can ask Zhang to forgive him for the sake of their time together. After seeing memories of how this girl used to treat Feng, he decides to give her a taste of her own medicine. He ignores her and tells Zhang that he feels sorry for him for picking up the trash he used and discarded. With extremely angry and constipated expression, Zhang starts shouting at him with lame comebacks and lame belittling talk. Yu Fei also tries to humiliate him by saying that she never liked him and blah blah. Feng cuts them off by saying that both of them look good together and a bitch and bastard are a match made in heaven. He congratulates both of them as trash suits with other trash. As Zhang is about to punch Feng, Bai Yi stops him by announcing that Feng is her boyfriend and anyone who dares to touch him will be considered an enemy of Bai family. Meanwhile, Feng is not happy with her grabbing his arm while she tells him that he should be honored that such a pretty girl is grabbing his arm. The bystanders are shocked to hear that Bai Yi is going out with this loser as she is the most popular girl in this campus. Zhang realizes that he cannot go against Bai family, so he backs off. Feng congratulates Zhang for being lucky enough as he would have gotten killed if she did not stop him. Also, he thanks him for taking away this trash woman. Yu Fei tries to stop Zhang from listening to Feng's words but gets a satisfying slap from Zhang. While walking towards class, he follows him and asks for a thank you. Feng gives a deep answer by saying that a man who does not have power or money cannot even express his gratitude. He then completes the wise sentence by saying that all he has left is this beautiful body, so if she wants, he can offer her his body. Feng then turns the table on women finally by manipulating the situation into becoming a victim for once. He shares that since everyone will now think that he is taken, no one will approach him or accept him. Now that his name is tarnished, he will not get married. He demands a fee for ruining his good name and for all the emotional damage. She panics and states that he already has her grandpa's card. But Feng responds that that has nothing to do with her. She gets cute angry and starts looking for money in her pockets. Using this opportunity, Feng escapes. She realizes that Feng already knows that she is trying to get close to him to interrogate. She still aims to uncover all his secrets and find out his true identity. In the classroom, two guys are taking about Feng, saying that the trash is back but he won't last long since the Gong family will break his legs or even kill him. Moreover, the Yi family is also furious with him, and the higher-ups want to kick him out of the family. Feng enters the room and ignores them. The noisy dog from outside, Zhang, is also sitting in the class, smirking at him as he cannot wait to see Feng getting killed. Just then, a fatty runs into the class and tells Feng to immediately come with him as the Gong family is here to take revenge on him. Feng tells Fatty to calm down and sit and he will handle the situation. Fatty tries to convince him to run away as the goons coming here will tear him into shreds just to get the favor of Gong family. The four muscular guys open the class's door with a kick because they are too arrogant and dumb to know that there is a thing called door handle. When they ask which one of them is Feng, Zhang points them towards our protagonist, hoping that Gong Wu will at least cripple him. Afterwards, he will lose the Bai family's protection and Zhang will have his revenge. The tall guy asks Feng if he is that useless illegitimate child. Feng counter-questions if he is the trash that is sent by Gong family. Gong Wu gets angry and Zhang thinks that Feng is only being rude because he thinks they will regard the protection from Bai family. However, this isn't happening. Thug 1 and Thug 2 as always try to threaten Feng to choose his words wisely. Gongwu offers him two options. Either Feng should kneel down and apologize at will, or option 2 is that they will make him kneel down by breaking one arm and one leg. Suddenly, Gongwu sees a scary demon in front of him instead of Feng. But he gets back to his senses, thinking it is just a hallucination. Feng casually sits on a desk and proposes a third option. While using the demonic eyes to hypnotize them, he orders them to kneel down. Zhang bursts out in laughter but is shocked when they actually kneel down in front of Feng. He tries to shake Master Wu to bring him back to senses. Feng decides to toy with them, so he tells them that the Fengi they are looking for is actually this ugly guy, while pointing towards Zhang. All four of them stand up together as they remember that they are here to beat Yifeng. They start punching and kicking Zhang until she is trembling in fear on floor, begging them to stop, so Feng orders them to back off and leave. Fatty gets all confused and asks if he really is the Feng he knows. Feng smiles and shares that he sure is. Fatty does not know that inside Feng's body is neither a human nor a ghost, he is a demon. Just when Zhang is about to walk out of classroom to go to the hospital, a really hot lady enters and asks what happened to him. To save face, he responds to the teacher that he fell down by himself. Feng notices that this pretty teacher is giving off an abnormal scent from her body which is of the violet blood. Turns out that she possesses an innate spiritual physique, and if Feng can get just one drop of her blood, then he could refine a demonic returning pill, which is equivalent to gaining an extra life. He suddenly sees a way of acquiring her blood in the form of the mosquito lunging behind her. The simp mosquito is tailing her while she walks across the class. Feng smacks the mosquito onto his teacher's butt and not only acquires the innate spiritual violet blood but also a better understanding of her not so innate physique. She immediately turns around and yells at Feng for trying to be her daddy, but Feng shares that there was a dangerous mosquito flying towards her, so he was only killing it. Kawaii-sensei gets angry and kicks him out of the class. By the expressions of Feng, we can totally see that it was worth the punishment. Also, the handprint on his face is nothing compared to where his handprints are on his sensei. From the mosquito, he sucks out the violet blood, but it's strange that a demonic mosquito, that are only found in the forbidden lands of the galaxy, are brought on Earth. Later at night, Fatty calls Feng to a bar and shares that his girlfriend made fun of Feng, so they have broken up now. He hugs Feng while crying and states that even though he liked her, she cannot insult his friend since he values his friendship, so he cut off his relationship with her. Sigma Fatty. Kids these days should learn the bro code from Fatty. Fatty then points toward the hot boss of this bar, Rose, who is one of the most famous bartenders in this city. Her big sister cocktail is the most famous and costly drink out here. Fatty takes out his credit card and orders 2 glasses of big sister cocktail. Feng notices something strange and informs Rose that she is poisoned. He adds that there is also more trouble waiting for her right at the doorstep. Just then a creepy guy with a scared face enters and asks Rose that who else other than him in this city of Zhong can save her. This guy is Poison Wolf, who poisoned Rose first and is now willing to trade the antidote in exchange for something. Feng recognizes this person as he has a history with him. Rose announces that whoever defeats Poison Wolf for her will not be charged for drinks in future. A man takes up Rose's offer and decides to make a dog out of this wolf. This golden-haired dude with All Might's physique is known as the undefeated boxing king, Tiger from the black market. Grab your drinks cause it's Tiger versus Wolf. The fight begins in a failed attempt of launching a flashy yellow punch presents Wolf, who is wreathing with green poisonous aura, an opportunity to launch a counterattack. With a single powerful punch, All Might's replica has been defeated. He steps onto the unconscious Tiger and states that whoever tries to help Rose will meet the same fate. He kicks Tiger's body towards Fatty and heads towards the counter where Feng asks if he recognizes him. Wolf arrogantly replies that he does not care about whoever he is. He tries to pick a fight with Feng and grabs his shoulder. The last man to grab Feng's shoulder was Zhang, and we all know what happened to him. Feng grabs his wrist and Wolf tries to free himself but couldn't. He then tries to spit poison at Feng, but his vision could not match Feng's speed as he suddenly appears in front of him with an attack. Barely blocking the attack, Wolf is petrified at the strength of this man who appears to be a walking demon. Another failed attempt to attack gets him punched, and as Wolf lies on the floor, Feng asks again if he recognizes him yet. Wolf tells him to go to hell, which is ironic since Feng did go to hell and became the king and is back now. The fight rages on as Wolf tosses 3 poisonous sharp needles at Feng. Even though he can easily dodge them, Feng likes to show off, so he catches all 3 with his mouth. He might be a show-off, but he also likes to be honest, so he compliments Wolf's poison, saying it does not taste bad. He then grabs Wolf's face and smacks him into the wall behind, forcing him to give up by handing over the antidote for Rose's poison. Just then, 3 men in black suits enter the bar. The one leading them with a broken arm is Zhang Jiao, the bodyguard of Bai family's old man. Turns out, he is the older brother of Wolf. He complains to his older brother about Feng, hoping that he will avenge him. To his surprise, Zhang immediately bows down his head and greets Master Yi Feng. All hope is lost for Wolf as Zhang tells Feng that he came here specifically to look for him because the old man's condition is worsening. Feng adds that the old man must have got many black spots on his body and his physique must be taking a toll as well. These are the symptoms from a demonic mosquito bite. Zhang requests Feng to cure old man, to which Feng shares that he has no interest in saving him, but since he was nice to him, he will return the favor. For that, Zhang asks for 3 days to prepare. Zhang puts his brother, Wolf, under Feng's command, ordering him to live and die at Feng's will. Wolf kneels and asks for forgiveness as he messed up with the wrong person. Feng tells him that he should apologize to Fatty instead for injuring him. While he begs for forgiveness from Fatty, Feng wonders why this fierce wolf guy does not recognize him since he is supposed to be one of his people. Nonetheless, what's more important right now is the demonic mosquito. On his way back, he notices a familiar face, or should I say familiar body. Lin Lan, the girl whose bed Feng landed in, is walking down the street. She is either too tired or too drunk as she can barely walk. Just then, a few molesters stop the van right in front of her and drag her inside to take advantage. Seeing her get kidnapped, Feng decides to see where they are going. The van stops in front of a huge house in a remote place surrounded by trees. The guy in lead picks up Lin Lan, who is barely able to move her body. Surprisingly, this house belongs to Feng and he is being set up again. The fat guy with rooster hairstyle and pink shirt, while a pile of LS, breaks open the door and inside, they throw Lin Lan on Feng's bed. Since she is a very pretty lady, they decide to take turns with her, but Feng suggests that they should save time by forgetting one by one and dying altogether. They are surprised to see Feng back so soon and decide to change the plan. They are going to cripple him first and then proceed with their cheap motives. The fat bag of L is the first one to attack Feng and the first one to lose his life, as well as Feng pulls out his soul and leaves the ashes behind. The other two immediately kneel down and show their loyalty by revealing that Yehu is the one who ordered them to set Feng up. As the reward for their loyalty, Feng delivers them a deserving painful death. After the dead body disappears, Feng notices a shiny green ring on the floor. This is a jade pendant with a certain aura. He cracks it and inside is a heavenly energy gathering magical stone. With this, Feng could establish a magical space system to absorb vigor from the universe. He should hide it from a staz he might come for the stone to defeat Yuna. He then walks out of the house and approaches a beautiful pink tree. Since this old tree can increase stone's power, he sticks the stone in the tree and activates the magical space system, which will make the flowers and grass in courtyard grow crazily. A green magical mark appears on the tree and it starts to expand the space, sending out heavenly energy. Not only has the grass started to grow, but Feng's power also starts to increase. Just then, Lin Lan approaches him and enters the magic space. Her delicate body cannot bear the life energy in here. She can barely walk in this energy, so she ends up falling over Feng. Don't get jealous if no hot rich girl falls over you, because you neither have a magic circle, nor are you a demon king. Lin Lan is not in her senses and is extremely vulnerable, so she tells Feng to not leave her this time and starts unbuttoning his shirt. Feng pins her to the ground and uses his finger to bring out the magical energy that she absorbed. The intensity of magic power ends up tearing Lin Lan's clothes. However, he still cannot get her back to normal, so there is only one thing left for him to do. That thing is still unknown to us as the scene fast forwards to the next morning, where the beautiful Lin Lan opens her eyes under the beautiful tree. While she is enjoying the dreamy morning, she suddenly notices that she is, again, naked, and beside him is again, shirtless Feng. Before she starts yelling, Feng clears it out that this time, he saved her. That reminds her of the last night, and she calms down and asks for some clothes. She tells him that once he gets her some clothes, she will leave and pretend that nothing happened. However, Feng is the demon king for a reason. He turns the table on her, saying that she tried to take advantage of him. After making fun of her, he leaves to get her some clothes. She asks what place this is, and Feng responds that it is his urban-rural junction, his home. Using her charm, she requests Feng to drop her off, to which Feng replies that there is a car just outside, but he does not have a driving license. Now Feng asks her to give him a ride since he has some errands in the city as well. She decides to get back at him by driving fast, hoping that he would start shaking with fear, and begging her to slow down. Turns out, Feng is not one of speed thrills but kills, but one of you only live once kind of guy. Suddenly, he notices a car coming from the front on the other lane, so he forces the steering wheel towards the right to block its path. It's Lin Lan now who gets scared of the baka in the passenger's seat. The black Ferrari drifts and stops right in front of them, and the beautiful door opens upwards. Including such a hot car is exactly the fan service we didn't know we needed. Feng tells Lin Lan to stay inside and not get out of the car since this does not concern her. He steps out of the car to collect old debts while a taped-faced man comes out of the Ferrari. This mummy man is Yehu, who barely survived the car blast. He removes the tapes to reveal what happened to his face. He is now just as beautiful outside as he is from the inside. Instead of responding to Feng's mockery with words, Yihu charges into attack, and for the first time, Feng is stunned at such speed and power. He missed Feng because he has not gotten used to this power, while Feng realizes that shit just turned real. He takes his battle stance and blocks Yihu's second attack. Two immense powers collide with each other in a fierce encounter, painting the sky purple and black. Even though he has gotten a lot stronger, Feng can still handle him. However, Yihu reveals the final trick up his sleeve by wearing the Devil Star's Shura soldier mask. Suddenly, Feng's reddish-black aura starts to disappear as Yihu is now the Opus villain. This devil mask has not only increased his strength but also his muscle size. Feng tries to warn him about the dangerous path he is choosing, but all Yihu wants in this moment is to take revenge. Feng gives him one last chance to reveal who gave him this mask, and in return, he will let him live. Even the nonchalant Feng is dead serious right now. Suddenly, Yihu disappears and then attacks Feng from above. While being driven to a corner, Feng realizes that his opponent is exerting double the strength of Shura soldiers. Lin Lan steps out of the van to see what is going on, only to find Feng barely dodging Yihu's attacks. He tries to maintain some distance by taking a few steps back. Using this opportunity, Yihu finally lands a hit and sends him flying. Feng gets smashed away while Yihu basks in the glory of this newfound power. Feng stands up from the rubble, not in front but from behind, and warns him about the mask he is currently wearing. Yihu is shocked to see Feng behind him all of a sudden. His form has also changed into full black and red, a fashion symbol Demon King. The soldiers of Asura are the lowest form of cannon fodder within the demonic star, and this mask of Asura is to prevent them from running away. This mask is not only a weapon but also the wearer's prison. The only way to take a mask is to either win the battle or lose his life. Right now, Yihu only cares about revenge, so he ignores all the warnings and Tadaki. However, Feng has gotten serious this time, and no one can stop him now. He completely dominates the battle from here on, and when their punches collide, Yihu's arm starts withering by the deadly black smoke. The agony and desperation further increase his size, and he gets promoted to the Hulk. However, his mask starts to come off. The Asura mask is already corroding him, and he is beyond saving at this point. Feng feels bad for Yihu, so he decides to give him a merciful death by finishing him with just a single, yet flashy move. He wonders how Yihu got his hands on this mask. Using soul extracting art, he takes out his soul that is not dispersed yet. He then consumes his soul and gets disappointed since the young master of the Yi family should have been tastier. Meanwhile, Lin Lan notices that all the noise is gone, so the commotion must have ended. Lin Lan asks if Feng is alright and is confused since the terrifying fight she just witnessed makes her think that these guys are not even humans. She asks if Yihu is dead and is relieved since he tried to set them up and kill them multiple times. Feng thinks to himself that the woman is really calm. He asks if she knows about any places where he finds information for research. She responds that his school's library is the city's largest library, so he might as well look there. She drops him off at school, where Feng tells her to keep the van since he does not have a driver's license anyway. She tries to ask where he got all this power from, but he ignores her question and tells her, smoothly, to call him the next time she faces any trouble. He had already saved his number in her phone. Men ask for girls' numbers while Giga Chad saved their number in others' fiancé's phone. She is surprised but at the same time relieved since she can contact him anytime. On his way to library, Feng thinks about this world and how it gives him a weird feeling. The Asura's mask and poison wolf are both from his planet. Moreover, demonic mosquitoes have started to appear as well. Therefore, he arrives at the library to search about this world. However, everything recorded in the book seems normal, but Feng still gets this strong sense of insecurity. Suddenly, someone puts her hands on Feng's eyes. I used her instead of his because Feng is an Opus main character, so it must be a girl. He looks behind and it really is a girl that reminds him of Huang. However, this girl isn't Zai, Yi Feng's childhood friend. She asks Feng where he has been these past few days. She was missing him, so she herself came looking for him. She asks if he could join her birthday party that her best friend organized for her. Feng agrees and heads out with this cute girl to a luxurious restaurant. Her best friend must have spent a hefty amount of money just to book this place. The manager approaches them and ushers them to their VIP room 19 where her friend is already waiting. Then Zai also feels that her friend went wrong by booking such an expensive place and asks Feng if she should suggest her to change places. Feng is already suspicious, so he tells her that it would be rude to say it now. They enter the room, and this short-haired cutie immediately jumps at Zai and wishes her happy birthday. She then asks who this handsome guy with her is, and Zai introduces Feng and Zio Yu to each other. She shares that you should not have booked such a pricey restaurant, but Yu responds that money is not a problem since young master Hu, the golden-haired guy at the table, will be paying for all this. He raises a toast for the birthday girl and tries to make Zai drink the alcohol he poured for her. She resists, so Feng takes the glass from his hand and drinks it all. He then asks Master Hu to have a word with him outside. Feng confronts him about the sleeping pills that were in the glass he was trying to make Zai drink. He asks the person who ordered him to do so, and since Hu is a golden-haired boy, he must be arrogant. He rudely replies that since Feng has already drunk the glass with pills and meddled in his plans, he will not be walking out of here alive. Feng reveals that pills like these do not work on him, so he should just reveal his motives. Hu shares that young Master Gong Yunfei put him up to this and asked him to pass a message to Feng, which is, "You just wait." Suddenly, a pretty yet feisty cat beast appears from Feng's shadow and bites off Master Hu's ear. Feng tells him to deliver a message to Gong Yun for him that he will soon find him once he settles his personal matters. Also, for trying to drug Zai, he will be the one paying for today's dinner. While entering their reserved VIP room, Feng has a change of mind and tells Hu to take him to Gong Yunfei. He feels bad for always being on the receiving end, so he should return the favor now. Hu responds that he has no idea about the whereabouts of Gong Yun since he is the one who always contacts him with the meeting location. Upon further interrogation, Feng gets to know that their usual meeting place is the abandoned steel factory, so they decide to head there. After the dinner, Feng says goodbye to Zai and her friends while thinking about how Zai and her family has been taking care of him ever since the time Yi family stopped recognizing him as part of family. Strangely, Zai resembles a lot to Huang Er, so he decides to look into her background later since right now, he needs to go to the factory. He asks Hu if he has any problem with taking him to the factory, but Hu replies that he does not, since he has fully submitted himself to Feng. Being a sadist, Feng likes to make people surrender using his power. Also, poor Hu had to spend 10 Kelvin on this meal. Before getting into Hu's car, Feng receives a call from an unknown number. He answers the call and it's Poison Wolf, who shares that Boss Fatty has gone missing. Feng gets infuriated at Fei Kian going missing. Yes, after 12 chapters, we finally know that Fatty's name is Fei Kian. But we will still address him as Fatty until he reincarnates as a slime or some other Opus MC. They arrive at the abandoned factory where Hu refuses to go inside with him. He just wants to stay behind and inform his Master Gong about Feng. Turns out, Feng has already taken his phone out of his pocket, and just then, he receives a call from Gong Yun. Feng tells him that he should not have kidnapped Fatty, and since he has prepared so many surprises, he will make sure to return the favor properly. He suggests a meetup, but Yunfei rejects his proposal, saying it would be useless since Feng is not going to survive tonight. Yunfei hangs up on Feng, which makes him angry, and as a result, he crushes Hu's phone. Feng is devastated since there are only 2 people in his circle and both of them got in trouble because of him. Every misfortune happening today is all arranged by Yunfei, but Hu adds that even though he knows about it, Yunfei would not let him off and he will have to realize just how terrifying the Gong family is. All these threats and warnings are only spurring him on as he shows Hu a glimpse of his demonic side before leaving. Inside the factory, Fatty is tied to a pillar and whipped by Gong Wu, the same brother of Yunfei who was hypnotized by Feng and forced to beat up Zhong. Even while getting bruised, our guy Fatty keeps warning Wu to save himself as Feng will beat him to a pulp. Wu responds that he would not fall for a lame trick like that again and will take his revenge for being humiliated and forced to kneel in front of everyone. He then shows Fatty the man that his brother specifically sent to kill Feng. This person, who seems to be an Asian version of Severus Snape with the hairstyle and long black coat, is Sir Six-Finger Snake. No kidding, he has something to do with snakes and poisons. Even though Fatty is just a normal guy, he could still sense that something is weird about this guy. Just then, the door is slammed open and straight out of hell, our Demon King makes a heroic entry to save his loyal wife, Fatty. Feng is disappointed to see that Yunfei is not here, but since his brother is here, he can get some lead. Fatty warns his dear friend about the Six-Finger Snake as he jumps at Feng to end the fight quickly. Feng notices him and dodges his attack, while being disappointed that a worm is sent to kill him. Usually, the villains are cocky and arrogant, and their bad behavior leads them to hell. What if the hero himself came from hell and is actually the king of hell? You cannot be more arrogant than him. He tries to use his snake to attack Feng while being covered in a venomous green aura. Feng is intrigued to see a cultivator, hoping that this guy might be a good opponent. Sadly, this guy has no idea what a cultivator is. Therefore, he is in for a lesson as Feng's feisty panther-like cat appears and kills the snake. Before Feng could attack again, Six-Finger Snake unleashes his deracinating King Cobra that he always saves for the people he wants to make sure are sent to hell. Feng tells him that he is getting bored now, so he should entertain him with some new or better moves. Maybe something flashy. He tells his spirit cat to get ready since there are a lot of snakes for her to eat. Since absorbing the vitality from that drop of blood he got from Fangy, the hot teacher he spanked, his cat has started to grow its own wisdom and has formed into a spirit beast. That blood couldn't be used for refining pills, but he got a helping hand, so it's all good. The battle of spiritual beasts begins, however, since there is more than one Cobra King and that two are much bigger than the cat. Sir Six-Finger thinks that he has an upper hand. He lures the cat with one snake and tries to attack Feng with the other. Feng then reveals, with arrogance of course, that with this lowest level of controlling technique, he can never defeat him. Unlike him, Feng does not need to stand in one place, being occupied with controlling his beast. Suddenly, Sir Six Finger Snake's strength has become his weakness since he has to dodge attacks from Feng who can freely move, and while dodging, he could not control the cobras which get attacked by the cat as a result. A lose-lose situation for him. He asks Feng what family or sect he belongs to, since he has never heard of him. To this, Feng replies that he hailed from hell. Being brutally overpowered and failing to land even a single hit, Sir Lame Finger responds that since he came from hell, he shall send him back there. He unleashes another big snake with a unique shape, like the snake we have in the morning. Feng easily rips him off with a single slash and notices his opponent's face turning pale. He offers him a chance to run away, but Sir Brutally Humiliated Six Finger decides to use his trump card. He orders his cobras to come back and mixes his own blood with them, turning their color into red. This huge red snake attack is called the Scarlet Python. Feng calls his cat back as he is getting bored, and he wants to show off some of his flashy moves by taking down this scarlet red python himself. The snake ingests our beloved arrogant protagonist, and his wife Fatty starts to moan while Gongwu is happy that he finally gets what he deserved. However, the snake's belly suddenly ruptures, and a demonic baby comes out of him. The same demonic baby that Feng released earlier in the river to eat off all the fish. The giant baby, who resembles Fatty more than Feng, eats the scarlet python, and then Feng approaches his opponent, Sir Trembling Six Fingers, and warmly welcomes him to his turf, hell, by ripping off his arm. As Feng enjoys toying with Sir One-Armed Six Fingers, he begs for mercy and requests him to not kill him as he will do anything for him. It would have been different if a girl told Feng that she will do anything. Since he is a guy, Feng uses him differently. Sir Hopeful Six Fingers gets excited as he might get spared. But Demon King strictly follows the rule of never let them know your next move, so he turns him into a bomb. By turning him into a round blood and flesh bomb, Feng approaches Gongwu. Meanwhile, Fatty is advising Feng to not let Gongwu get away since he will get more people from Gong family to get his revenge. Gongwu, who is so close to wetting his pants. But not to worry, since he is wearing black and it is nighttime. Therefore no one will notice. Feng feeds him Sir Bomb Six Fingers and hypnotizes him again to deliver this returning gift to his brother, Yun Fei. He just walks away while being totally under Feng's spell and stuttering the words that he is a return gift for his brother. After he leaves, Feng approaches Fatty and apologizes for going through all this because of him. Fatty is a loyal friend, so he states that he knew Feng would come for him, such as their bromance. By just putting his hand on Fatty's shoulder, Feng heals all his injuries. Fatty is surprised that all his injuries are instantly healed, since he was hoping that Feng would carry him home. He is flooded with numerous questions and Feng responds to all his questions wisely, by staying silent. Meanwhile, the return gift has already entered the building and is approaching Gong Yun Fei's office. Maids and other staff think that Gongwu is drunk, that is why he is walking like a zombie. He enters Gong Yun Fei's office, who asks for the good news about Feng's death. He turns around and notices that his brother is acting weird. Moreover, he asks why Sir Deceased Six Fingers is not with him. Suddenly, Gongwu's body starts to swell, and realizing that he came back with something wrong, Yun Fei immediately kicks him towards the door. Seeing his brother about to explode right in front of his eyes, Yun Fei jumps out of the window to save himself while the bomb goes off and the building explodes. The next morning after the fireworks in Gong's building, Feng arrives at the Hong Hai Tower where his teacher has invited him for lunch. Yes, the same teacher with his handprint on her butt. Even though he is suspicious of her real intentions, man cannot just turn down an invitation from a hot lady. Moreover, he intends to use this opportunity to find evidence on the Gong family. Fang Yi greets him at the restaurant, and she is accompanied by another pretty lady who goes by the name Qin Zhu. She is Fang Yi's best friend, and while she wants to show her gratitude to Feng, her friend here wants to ask him a few questions. They both stare intently with big round eyes at Feng, which makes him nervous and forces him to ask if there is something wrong. Fang Yi shares with a cute smile that ever since her bestie heard the story of him killing the demonic mosquito, she kept telling her how scary that little thing is. So, she feels bad for slapping him, and to compensate, she invited him out for lunch. The other pretty girl then introduces herself that she is a doctor and also the manager of the biggest private institution for health in this city. Since the information about appearance of demonic mosquitoes is still not disclosed, she is curious to know how Feng knows about them. Feng plays a safe game by refusing to give any comments. The cute lady suddenly shifts to threatening lady as Feng's answer is not convincing, and she now suspects that he must have something to do with those mosquitoes. Feng gets up since he is in no mood for an interrogation and thanks both of them for this generous lunch. Even though he did not eat anything, his eyes must have had a feast. Fang Yi tries to stop him and follows him to the main entrance along with Qin Zhu. A group of men in black suits is already waiting for Feng outside. The person they are accompanying is Bai Zhengguo, a man with brighter head than your future. He is here to request Feng to help save his father's life since his health is continuously deteriorating. Qin Zhu tries to intervene, saying that this guy has no medical background. Zhengguo shuts her down, saying that she should not insult Bai family's distinguished guest. Feng agrees to go with them. Qin Zhu asks if she can also come along to see the process of treatment. If he succeeds, she is willing to become his student. He agrees as long as Zhengguo has no problem with it. Meanwhile, a greenhead with huge lips, which no one wants to know turn this big, is spying on Feng, and he informs his boss that Feng has left with the Bai family. His boss, Yun Fei, orders him to keep following them. He is agitated over last night's event in which Feng made a bonfire out of his building. To him, Feng is already a dead man, but he wants to be the one who chooses how horribly Feng dies. At the mansion, Qin Zhu again expresses her concern that an entire field of doctor cannot treat this case, yet he says he can do it. She is worried that Feng is only using the old man as an object of experiment. However, she does not know that Feng is a decent man who only experiments turning living humans into bombs and zombies. He tells her to observe closely since there won't be another chance for her to see him in action. In the old man's room, Feng orders his black cat to come out and then tells Zhengguo to bring him an empty bowl. As always, the cat first sniffs the bowl and then releases some pink fluid from her claws, which is her blood. Meanwhile, Feng is having a hard time in holding Qin Zhu back, who is a cat lover and so badly wants to touch it. Feng asks Zhengguo to make his father drink this and he will be healed then. He further advises them to be careful of the Gong family's schemes in future. Upon hearing the name of Gong family, the room fills with tension. Confused, Feng inquires about all this fuss regarding Gong family and why everyone is so scared of them. Just then, the pink cutie, Bai enters the room and shares that it's not the Gong family who is the real issue. It's actually the family backing them, the Leng family and Jian Nan. Old man wakes up and is devastated to hear that he fell into the trap of Gong family. Feng adds that there are still many things about this world that he is trying to figure out, so he cannot answer everything. However, one thing is for sure, that is that the demonic mosquitoes are not from this world. The old man does not need to worry right now since the Gong family is not crazy enough to strike him yet. While he is having a conversation with Bai by the window, he asks if this rally of cars outside their gate belongs to them. Turns out, the Gong family has surrounded the Bai mansion to capture Feng and deal with him. With a proud and brave smile to his face, Feng asks the old man for a car to escape. The gate opens, and before Feng could drive away in this luxurious white beauty, Zhang and his guards knock out a few of Gong's men while stating that their limit is being tested here since Feng is their guest. Since the ordinary guards cannot pass through the iron wall Zhang, they summon the rock. He politely asks Zhang that if he could smell what the rock is cooking, he should lead him to Yifeng. As a token of appreciation, he will leave the Bai family unharmed. This huge beast goes by the name Gui Shu, who then looks down towards the white beauty and tells Feng to come out. Feng lowers the window and asks if he is the only person Yu Fei sent to kill him. Gui Shu reminds Feng that this is not some drive-through for him to lowering his window and chatting like this, so he tries to grab Feng. However, Feng uses his black smoke magic to block, and his block even breaks through Shu's punch. The big guy is impressed since Yun Fei was right about his skills. He adds that Feng's skills are enough to join the team, but unfortunately, he is going to die. Feng calls him an old man and tells him to save his corny dialogues for after he catches him. With that, he flies off in the white baby while all the Gong cars try to follow him. After he manages to draw a safe distance from the Gong cars, he arrives at the big pink tree. Realizing that the rock is strong and if he tries to go against him, he might lose, he uses the magical space system to level up. It was already dark when the Gong goons finally found his car. He welcomes them all to his very own mystery maze. Shu and his men try to find the hiding Feng among all these tall trees while Feng tunes this game of hide and seek up a bit. If he finds them first, he will kill them. Shu looks at his right to see one of the guards who will never require a barber again as he has been beheaded by Feng. Feng makes sure to cut everyone differently as if he is making pieces of a new 3D puzzle game. By welcoming everyone to his hell, he starts eliminating all the guards until the only person left is Shu. Guo Shu is finally facing the pressure and he states that no matter how Feng plays his tricks, he will still die tonight. Since it cannot be helped, Feng decides to come out of hiding so Guo Shu could try if he could really kill him. With a smirk on his face, Guo shares that he forgot to answer his previous question. Actually, he is not the only one sent here to kill Feng. Suddenly, a creepy 4-arms octopus version of Ryuk the Shinigami appears from above Feng. Creepy Ryuk intended to sneak up on Feng, but since it is his territory, he was waiting for him to attack. Feng smashes his face to the ground while Guo Shu is about to launch a magical attack. He gives Yifeng a chance to be obedient, so his death will be free of pain. That octopus monster escapes Feng's grip, so he tries to catch it again. Using this distraction, Shu fires a strong green magical beam. Just then, the octopus Ryuk grips Feng in his forearms and numerous legs. This creepy dude goes by the name Qi Feng, who tells our Demon King to go to hell now. He bites Feng and starts sucking all this magical power. However, Guo Shu tells Qi that this brat must be planning another one of his lame tricks, so they should just take him out. He launches a small green Kamehameha that pierces right through Feng's chest, leaving a giant hole in his body. Qi thinks that Feng is dead now, so he decides to use him to make a new puppet. Moreover, he really enjoyed the taste of his blood. However, Guo Shu is still not satisfied since this guy killed Sir Late Six Fingers. He will be at ease when Feng's whole body is destroyed. He launches another Kamehameha, this time on a bigger scale. Qi is disappointed since he expected more from Feng, who was mentioned personally by Gong Yunfei. However, he turned out to be just an F-level amateur at best. Since both of them are E-level experts, this was never a contest. Suddenly, Feng appears from behind and slashes off one of Qi's arms. They cannot believe their eyes, as not even experts could endure this attack from Shu. Feng tells him that the hole is still in his chest, but that is all it is. He is transformed into the scary long-haired demonic form, and his deadly panther is out as well. He has already broken down their attack patterns and how it works, so it is easier for him to counter now. He brings out his old pal, the demonic hunting scythe, and pierces Shu with it. Shu and Qi are getting terrified of this man, but Feng tells them not to worry since he will deliver them a quick death. Even though killing them is not an issue for Feng, he is not happy with them, stating that he is just an F level. Therefore, he wants them to feel the difference to see how strong Feng really is. He absorbs into the dark shadow that encircles Shu and Qi. Feng then gives them a chance to live. However, he is only going to allow one of them to live, and they are free to choose who gets to die. Shu realizes that he just wants to make things easier for himself by getting Qi and Shu to fight among themselves. To dissipate the black shadows, he starts to fire magical beams all around him. However, he is unable to locate Feng amidst the darkness since he is the darkness. Feng then appears close to them with his scythe, and Shu tries one final full-powered Kamehameha, but misses. Since they did not choose one to live, both of them have to die now. Qi Feng turns back into his human form and betrays Shu by using the one to live option. He turns Shu into a ghoul, as dead bodies without a brain are much easier to control. He realizes that Feng has no intention of letting them stay alive, so he wants to use his best shot. Qi is sure that once this strong old man is turned into a ghoul, Feng will finally be defeated. Ghoul Shu grabs Feng by his head, to which he gives an evil smile, and using his scythe, he not only slashes Shu Ghoul but also Qi. Feng expected more from them, but they turned out to be weak too. His cat beast feeds on their corpses, while Feng wonders that if these weaklings were E grade, he must be at least grade A. He had to use all the power from magic space and decides to stack on more in future. He turns around to see his cute kitty transformed into a complete beast lion. He pets his beast Simba and gets excited to realize that Fei Yun has such a strong alliance around him, so he will have a lot to devour. He also needs to get on the good side of Bai family, as they will become an important aid for him to take down Yun Fei. He calls his demon beast back and heads off to his next destination. Meanwhile, a person wearing hazmat suit is inspecting the forest where Feng just killed Shu and Qi. The person takes of the mask, and it's Qin Zhu, who sighs and now needs to report to the headquarters that Feng might be more dangerous than they expected. She is not only the manager of Qin Medical Organization, but also member of the secret Wang He of the Leaf Group. She still has no idea what the clan is up to, but for now, they can help them in testing the waters. Moreover, she needs to find out the real identity of Yi Feng. Suddenly, she notices something that shocks her to the core. Meanwhile, at the subdepartment of the clan, a redhead guy with a diamond-shaped red stone stuck to his forehead, who is liaison officer Chu Lai, informs Yun Fei about the 2 grade E experts they sent out. Gong Yunfei is agitated to hear that they, who are supposed to be 10 times stronger than a highest-ranked fighter, were easily killed by a mere human. Chu Lai reminds Yunfei that even though he is related by blood to the Gong family, he still has no authority in the clans. Yunfei feels insulted, as this is the first time in many years that someone has reminded him of his authority. He calms himself and states that the clan needs to try harder next time to avoid the humiliation. To this, Chu Lai responds that he is here to provide the solution to this problem. However, the clan is still in battle, so finding 2 grade E experts was already difficult. Yunfei insists that they should find another grade E expert, as he wants Feng to beg for his life. However, Lai informs that instead of grade E, they will be sending a grade D expert this time. The next morning, Feng arrives at the Bai mansion where Bai Yi just woke up and is standing at the balcony. She notices him and asks the reason of him being here. Feng asks if he could stay at their place for a while, but Yi lashes out at him since he just received her grandpa's $2 million worth car. Feng's lack of interest triggers Yi as she comes down to scold him face to face. Feng tries to calm her down since he just saved her grandpa. He then asks for a place to live since his house has been ruined last night. Confused, he shares that she thought he was a disciple of the Yi family, so he must have a lot of places. Feng clears out that his name is Yi, which is the character for night. It is not associated with the Yi family. Since he looks so pitiful, she agrees to let him come inside. While Feng points at her unbuttoned shirt from top and tells her to look at herself first. She turns all red and cute and chases Feng to give him a piece of her mind. Later that night at the Bai mansion, Qin Zhu interrogates Feng about his relationship with the Yi family. He is tired and tries to blow her off by saying that he needs to go to sleep. Qin Zhu just wants to make sure that he isn't their enemy since her organization does not want to be rivals with him. For that, she needs to make sure that he isn't a threat. In that case, Feng has some questions too. He asks what this place really is and why do the demonic mosquitoes and the people from previous universes exist here. Qin Zhu responds that this world is indeed a bit unstable as there are multiple cracks in time. This makes her realize that Yifeng is not really from here. Feng reveals that he is from Hell, the king from Hell. Back at the Gong building which Feng blasted as a gift, Yunfei slams the door open and finds among the rubble a safe that is still safe because it's a safe. It does not matter to him whether the expert finds Feng or not. He will still watch him kneel. Inside the safe is a jar brimming with green aura with a heart inside, stored by the eldest of Gong. Just then, a black angel appears from behind who praises Yunfei's boldness for coming here alone. She takes this jar that is the source of demonic mosquitoes and tells Yunfei that he really needs to learn about powers. He tells this haughty in lace net leggings that he is not going to let her leave and tries to attack her. She easily evades the attack by jumping upwards and shares that the Leng family is really powerful. However, Yunfei is just a piece of trash. That is why he is a Gong. He tries to attack her once again as the Deviant Alliance will definitely give him a raise if he kills her. She again dodges and reminds him that Gongs are not skilled enough. Man is single-handedly humiliating his whole family. Gong Yunfei himself is on par with grade D experts. But she is not interested in fighting since she isn't allowed to kill him just yet. She congratulates him for being lucky to stay alive even after encountering her. Yunfei states that she cannot kill, but he can kill her. Suddenly, magic arrows start dropping from the ceiling. Yunfei is not dumb enough to come here alone and he does have a backup. She still dodges the attack and politely informs him that she does not give an F, so she will be taking her leave now. With that, she jumps out of the building and vanishes. Meanwhile, Qin Zhu has left, and Feng is enjoying his reunion with his scythe that he is finally able to summon now, since he has absorbed enough life energy. However, he still needs to find a way to search for more information since this world is too suspicious. Suddenly, his window is knocked, and an unknown voice asks if Feng is home. He heads out to see the prettiest Spider-Man hanging upside down outside his window. This is the same woman who just humiliated Yunfei. She shares that the reason of her being here is twofold. One, she really wanted to see him. Feng smiles like a playboy and asks about the second thing. She hands him the jar she acquired from Yunfei, saying that he is the only one who knows how to take care of it. He immediately calls Poison Wolf and gives him a mission, stating that he should not come back if he cannot complete it. Feng asks her where she got it from. She reveals that she just stole it from Yunfei. She then asks if her king, Feng, is happy with the present. She bends her knee and introduces herself as Zun. She will share the rest at the right time. With that, she attempts to leave, but Feng stops her using his scythe, saying that he has not allowed her to leave yet. She states that for now, he only needs to know that she is not his enemy. She then disappears and Feng gets irritated since he hates the people who act all mysterious. You know who else is mysterious and cocky? Feng himself. This jar is the array that keeps the heart alive and gives the demonic mosquito blood. Due to some reason, it looks familiar to him. Just then, he receives a call from Lin Lan's number. He immediately heads out with Poison Wolf. In the car, Feng hands him the jar which floods the past memories into Poison Wolf's mind. He then asks if Wolf remembers him now. Wolf is shocked to see his king in front of him. Feng then asks him about everything he knows. Wolf shares that there was an explosion on the demonic planet and when he woke up, he was already at this planet. Before he lost consciousness, he saw a huge energy ball fall from the sky and then there was an explosion after which he blacked out. At the destroyed Gong building, Feng tells Yunfei that he should stop messing around now. Yunfei replies that all their problems started with this woman, Lin Lan, so they should end it with her too. Feng tries to explain to him that his small brain should know by now that it was all a ploy from Yihu. However, no one can put senses in someone with a dying wish. Feng asks where he got the demonic mask from and Yunfei shares that he will tell him after he sends him to hell. These dumb antagonists really don't have anything to say when their opponent is actually the king of hell, and their trash talk simply backfires. Feng easily diverts his attack with a swift kick, but surprisingly, Yunfei appears from behind and uses the knuckle to attack this time. The spikes on this knuckle extend, putting Feng at a disadvantage. Feng dodges and the flashy red and blue fight begins. Feng casts a spell where Yunfei is standing, and since he loves this place so much, he must constantly be thinking about the people who died here in the explosion. Feng honors him with a reunion as the maids start to emerge from beneath the ground. While Yunfei is busy fighting the maids, Feng decides to use this opportunity to get Lin Lan out of here since the suited guy standing behind her, Chu Lai, is making him feel uncanny. Before Feng could reach Lin Lan, Chu Lai grabs him and slams him into the ground, saying politely that Miss Lin has to stay here. Feng gets really irritated because he should not fight while wearing such formal clothing. The Deviant Alliance really needs to think about their dress code. Chu Lai states that the defensive stats of Feng are lower than their standards. Meanwhile, Yunfei is occupied with the maids. He orders Chu Lai to beat Feng up and give him a humiliating death, to which Chu Lai replies that they should wait for the D-rank expert to appear first. Yunfei starts walking towards Feng as all the maids have been taken care of, saying that 2 of them are more than enough to take out Feng. Suddenly, smoke appears and out of it comes a huge demonic baby. Yunfei throws some round red balls into the baby's mouth, and it explodes. After the baby and smoke disappear, they notice that Feng and Lin Lan have also vanished. Lin Lan screams at Feng for causing her more trouble until Feng reminds her that she was the one captured. She thanks him for saving her again, and after he drops her at a safe distance, he heads back to settle accounts with those losers. For the first time finally, Lin is rescued without her getting naked. Meanwhile, Chu Lai and Yunfei are greeted by Poison Wolf with the mosquito heart jar in his hand. They have no idea how it ended up in Wolf's hands. However, they want to focus on getting it back for now. Wolf mocks them by saying that low-ranked people like them don't even know how to use it, so he shall give them a lesson. He eats that delicious heart and turns into a wolf covered with green poisonous aura. After giving them a glimpse of his powers, he tells the 2 weaklings to come at him. They attack him at the same time, thinking that they managed to land a hit, but Wolf was hiding a little surprise for them. He throws poisonous needles at Yunfei. Just when they are about to hit him, Chu Lai saves him by using his arm as a shield. Since his arm is injected with such strong poison, it is beyond saving now, so Yunfei cuts it off. Yunfei then tells him to take care of Wolf while he searches for Yifeng. He gives him a red round ball to stick at the torn off arm. A metal arm appears in place of his lost arm, which reveals to Wolf that Yunfei's power is metal kinesis. As they head into a battle, Feng is back and ready to face Yunfei. Feng inquires why Yunfei is willing to risk his life just for his crappy ego. He gets triggered and replies that he is not an idiot like Feng, who chose to abandon the surname that he could have chosen. He wants to be a Leng but ended up being a Gong, since the rule in the world is that family blood is the only strong foundation to survival. Therefore, he is the person Yunfei hates the most in this city. While saying all this, he has prepared numerous magic balls that turn into sharp needles and start flying towards Feng. Feng swims in the air, dodging all the incoming attacks, and even if any needle gets through, the dark shadow covering him acts as a shield. He summarizes all that hatred speech and concludes that Yun is just a piece of trash who wants fame. Little does he know that Feng is the king of a whole planet. Small family names mean nothing to him. Feng pins the weak Yunfei down and states that without Leng family, he is nothing. As he holds his scythe to Yunfei's neck, he pleads, saying that the Deviants Alliance will not let him live if he kills him. The Leng family will also come for him. He has no idea that threats like this only make Feng more excited. With that, he says that no one can stop him from becoming the strongest, and he slashes Yunfei's head right off. Wolf stops the fight with Chu Lai to give him a moment of shed tears for his master, although he should be happy since he has 2 masters now instead of 1, with his head and body separated. Feng tells Chu Lai that if the Deviants Alliance wants to come after him, they are very much welcome to be his enemy. Chu Lai is in a state of shock as the mistress will now go crazy and this whole city of Jiang will become a war field now. Not even him being a Yi family member will mean anything to the mistress now. Suddenly, a purple smoke appears and another officer from the Alliance is here who orders Chu Lai to leave with him. Wolf tries to stop them from getting away as it will be bad for the word of what happened here spread. However, Feng does not care about it since his goal is to return to the demon planet, and this mere planet can do nothing to stop him. If a small city like this is going to block his way, then he does not deserve to be the king. According to their leveling method, Feng guesses that Wolf must be at least rank C, so he should protect those people Feng knows. The next day at the huge mansion of Leng family, a lot of people gathered for some party that was scheduled for today. Chu Lai asks Mr. Zhao, who rescued him last night, about how the Leng family will handle this matter. Zhao thinks that Lengs will not start the war just yet since the Bai family is also leaning towards Yifeng. For now, they must be devising a plan. Also, there are a lot of people here that are not from the Alliance, so doing anything right now is not possible. Just then, a lady arrives who becomes the focal point of all the guests, not because of how pretty she is, but because she is the mother of Yunfei who just died last night. She is Lin Han Shuang, who is holding her son's head in her hand. She announces that she just received word from the elders of Deviant's Alliance that the Ghost Clan has officially drawn for peace with their alliance, so the elders have decided to temporarily stop the war. Everyone can take a break from war for a while. However, the Leng family has personal matters, as she needs to take revenge for her son. So, whoever is willing to kill the sworn enemy of her son, the elders will satisfy any one wish of theirs. This announcement makes everyone excited as this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. This alone is enough to ensure that Yifeng will die a brutal death. Meanwhile, Feng is in Fatty's room where he asks Fatty if he is going to continue following him after telling him the truth about himself. The loyal Fatty states that it does not matter to him where he is the demonic king or a university loser. He will always be his homie and will stick with him no matter what. Fatty is literally friendship goals. Feng tells him not to worry as he will take care of all the problems that come from his enemies, while Fatty should carry through the problems with his obesity. Fatty tells him that he does not need to worry about him since his big build and big heart can survive through anything. Moreover, he would like to help him with whatever is possible. Feng appoints him to manage his resources. Just then, Feng receives a message from Bai family that they need to discuss something important with him. Feng's house has been rebuilt by the organization under supervision of cute Qin Zhu, who tells Feng that he owes her a thank you. Feng responds that the organization built this house to get on his side, so she should go complain to her group. She yells at him for making her want to die every time she tries to talk to him and throws the house key at him. Feng asks what her organization's goal really is. She replies that science has no boundaries, even when it comes to cultivation, which is all about using external forces to strengthen themselves. They are interested in determining the origin of these powers. Since Feng can help them with this goal, they consider him a friend. If that's the case, Feng punches a guy who's using invisibility magic and inquires why the organization is trying to spy on their friend. At Bai Mansion, Qin Zhu is having a conversation with Old Man while he is also present. He asks her why people in her organization are still trying to assassinate Yifeng. She reveals that the organization sometimes has different opinions and will split over it. However, this won't affect Bai if she decides to join their group. He gets excited to know that she can join the organization Wang He of the Leaf. Usually, it does not let anyone join easily since it is the top research organization. But Yifeng has given her the credits of curing poison, so she is eligible. Bai Yi can't help having an itch every time that guy is mentioned. Qin Zhu relates to her as she feels exactly the same. Qin Zhu then pulls an evil move by stating that Bai Yi's first task as a member of organization is to replace her to observe everything about Yifeng. All her excitement is lost upon hearing such bad news. In his room, Feng wonders what is happening on the demonic planet right now. He was banished there as a slave, but he fought hard for so long to become the king. In this planet, there must be other people from his planet like Poisonous Wolf, so he needs to find a way to unite them all. Meanwhile, Wolf is sitting outside Feng's door because his master seemed a bit sentimental, so he did not want to bother him. On the demonic island, Poison Wolf and Feng were two contenders to be king, but he lost to Feng during the last promotion stage. Feng asks why he does not hate him even after that. Wolf replies that it did bother him, but after Feng took the spot, he could see the difference between them and clearly Feng was more suited to be the king. Feng then led the demonic planet to break loose from the control of other planets. That is why everyone there looks at him like a hero. Feng steps out of the room and shares that since Lin family has already put out word to kill him, he cannot sit here and wait. Therefore, he decides to go himself and give a greeting to the Alliance. Feng arrives at a huge fancy building owned by the organization. Earlier, Qin Zhu tries to make Feng trust them after he caught a spy, saying that the organization is having a dispute and the ones trying to kill him are not from her side. To get her to believe him, she secretly told him the location of the Alliance. Feng throws the key of his car at the valet, but a giant muscular guard catches the key and states that Yifeng should not have come here without permission. Feng states that he is here to spend some money, and since the Red Diamond nightclub always has doors open for customers, he cannot stop him from entering. However, before Feng enters, the big guy warns him that he is delivering himself straight at his enemy's door, so he might not walk out alive. Meanwhile, in the office of this nightclub, a golden-haired arrogant guy informs the Green Beauty and Old Man that Feng has come to them himself. Green Beauty states that killing Gong Yunfei is hardly an achievement since he was weak, so Feng may not be as strong as they have heard. She wants to try to kill him herself. Suddenly, the door knocks, and the golden-haired dude is irritated since someone has the audacity to disturb them. Since he has golden hair, we all know that he will soon get beaten up and he is not one of the good ones. Before he could open the door, Feng breaks the door and it falls over the golden guy. He casually walks over the door under which the golden dude is. It is bad manners and a sign of arrogance to step over others, so Feng makes sure he is not standing over a person by killing the golden dude. Now he is standing over a dead body. Suddenly, the big guy from outside appears from behind. The big guy is already under Feng's soul-stealing magic and is obeying him alone. He uses the same spell to steal Green Beauty's and Old Man's soul. He orders them that from now on, this place belongs to him, and this place will not be a part of Alliance anymore. He then gives the ownership to Kinzu and asks if it would not be too difficult for him. She shares that Bai Yu will be taking over her place now, to which Feng teases her by saying that he wanted to ask favors from her instead. His favors sound more suspicious when he brings his face so close to Kinzu. Bai Yi pushes him back, saying that he should not harass the girls like this. She advises Feng to not cause problems for Bai Yi since she is just a newbie. He assures her that he will take care of her. However, given his history and Kinzu's past experiences, she is not buying that. She explains that even though Wang He of the Lead is a big organization, no one really knows its exact size. The department in Jiang City that she is in is just an extremely small section of the whole. It is said that this organization is thoroughly controlling governments all around the world with huge powers to their word and numerous resources. This is why it's normal for there to be conflicts within the organization. Nonetheless, the influence this group holds is very big. Feng inquires if the Ghost Clan is also a part of it. If positive, he requires Kinzu to help him invite its director. She agrees to do this last favor, and in return, she wants Feng to never show his face to her ever again. She calls Zunner and invites her to the Red Diamond nightclub. Feng is confused to know that the hot Zunner from his balcony is actually the director of Ghost Clan. Meanwhile, a certain guard at some warehouse is killed by this gray-head dude. He states that the outer gates of Ghost Clan have a really weak defense. More men are following this guy to attack the Ghost Clan to completely eradicate it tonight. After they kill everyone from the Ghost Clan, they will head towards their next target, Yifeng. Zunner arrives at the nightclub and asks her king why he wanted to see her so badly. He asks what Zunner plans to do with the Ghost Clan, and more importantly, he inquires if she is related to the demonic planet. She smiles as her king, Feng, always likes to have everything held in his palms. Feng responds that this is exactly how he helped the demon planet to survive. She answers that Feng himself told them to hide their identities, but now that he insists, she introduces herself as a part of the royalty subordinate team. She is the royal guard, Tong Zun'er. Ironic how she is from Demon Planet, yet she is beautiful like an angel. Feng finally remembers her, and Bai Yi is trying to make sense out of their conversation. Just then, Zun'er receives a call that informs her that the Ghost Clan is under heavy attack. The ones attacking Ghost Clan are from the criminal clan. Leading them is Luo Chen with an ugly mask like the swordsmiths from Demon Slayer. One of his underlings inform him that the other chiefs have resolved the fight, and the Demon Gate experts don't seem to be around. The criminal clan has such a large management. If the 3 criminals, one of whom is Luo Chen, and 5 specters do act, the clan will really get rid of the gate this time. The scene shifts to the 5 Spectres clan, who inform Luo that even after turning the entire place upside down, they still haven't found the 2 specters from the Demon Gate. Luo tells them that they should be happy about it, because if those 2 were around, these 5 would have been easily killed. They get triggered, and before the situation turns worse, a yellow-haired guy who seems to be a minimalist when it comes to clothes intervenes and scolds them for fighting in between among themselves. This guy is another criminal chief named Hua King, or known as the Heaven Criminal. The Heaven Criminal sends the 5 specters to go help the Earth Criminal, who seems to have crossed paths with Zun'er, who they need to quickly dispose of. He tells Luo to join him so they can look for the twin specters of Heaven and Earth. In his white beauty, Feng is driving towards the attacked headquarters of Ghost Clan. However, they get stuck in a traffic jam, so Feng takes an even faster route. He unleashes his Dominic Toretto and puts the car on the wrong side and drives fast and furiously. Zun'er is impressed by her king's quick improvising, while Bai Yi is equally stressed about the Demon Planet story and rash driving. Suddenly, another beauty in a red-hot dress jumps on their car, and Zun'er tells Feng that he can leave this one for her. This tall red beauty is Zun'er's younger sister. The clash of beautiful sisters begins, and Red Beauty uses her heel to tear off her older sister's shirt from the center. This reveals her white bra underneath, while she retaliates in a similar manner, tearing off the same part of her sister's dress as well. However, this time, the author had to use censorship. Just then, a huge rock, or should I say a small mountain, is thrown towards the white beauty. Don't worry y'all, the car is safe, as Feng applied the brakes just at the right moment. Feng praises them for such an extravagant greeting, while Earth Criminal states that Feng is going to die tonight. Feng, as always, gets excited and invites them to try. Zun'er informs Feng that they are the members of Union's elite combat unit, the 3 Calamities and 5 Fiends. All of their combat abilities are above rank D. Meanwhile, all Feng could see is a good meal with strong life forces. However, Zun'er steps forward and requests Feng to take Bai Yi and leave this place. She charges at the enemies while Bai Yi is looking out of the car's window like a curious cat with big eyes. He informs the cutie to stay inside while they are fighting. From inside, she wishes them good luck and cheers for them. Feng steps forward and tells Zunner that being her king, he cannot sit back while she fights for him. Therefore, he commands her to leave these people to him. Zunner smiles since this is expected from their hero Lord Demon Emperor. She then takes on her sister while Feng takes down the 5 specters. To save time, he orders all 5 specter dogs to come at him one. He brings out his demon lion beast whose roar alone sends them flying away. They are surprised to get such damage from just a roar. They try to attack him again, but Feng uses his dark shadow to slam them onto the ground again. Meanwhile, the hot sister battle is going on while Zunner asks their real plan, for which the Union stopped all combat outwardly and then set up an ambush behind others' backs and even sent out their best soldiers. She diverts the question by stating that those 2 old geezers from Ghost Clan are not here, so she just has to delay her as their only goal is killing Yifeng. She knows that those 5 specters are useless, so she reveals her secret move that not only heals the 5 specters, but also gives them the full strength of Asura Mask. Since Feng has brought hope to the demon planet, she would not let anyone harm her king, so she charges towards the 5 sect and heroically saves her lord from the giant specter. Feng brings out his scythe to assist Zunner and takes one down. Suddenly, 2 others jump together at Feng using his blind spot, and Zunner quickly pushes him away and takes their attack head on. A huge pink magic attack is seen that not only pushes Feng away, but also takes Zunner out of his vision. While the smoke is covering the entire area, Feng suddenly gets stabbed right in his heart from behind by Zunner's sister, who tells the Lord Demon Emperor to go back to his effing hellhole. And that's how the first part of this Manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.